Okay, what's going on? LBHT Crew B, what is going on?
LeBron is sick and tired of what's going on in LA. That's what's going on.
Yes. You know what?
Too tired to even be mad anymore.
Hey, as the NFL season draws near an end, there will be more NBA discussion going on here. I know some of you guys aren't NBA fans, but that's okay. You're gonna enjoy the conversation, okay? Because we talk about the fun stuff, okay? And LeBron being sick and tired of the shenanigans in LA. But look, we'll talk about it a little bit later. Maybe little Rui Hachimura might solve his problems. We'll find out.
Too mentally exhausted to even move.
46
like he wasn't angry. He wasn't screaming at anybody. He was just sitting there. He was just like, I'm not watching this.
46 points, right? Didn't we score 46?
Yeah, and they lost.
They got blown out.
I was just gonna say they lost. That's cool.
Oh man, Darren's in the house. Says, hey, what's up, Darren? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Darren, man, drop your info in the chat, man. Darren does he works on like websites. If you need a website put together, holla at guy Darren. All right. Put your info in there where they can find you. Our guy Yazar's in the house. Says peace. What's up, Yazar?
What's up, Yazar?
D Weezy's in the house. D Weezy, yes indeed. Crew in the house. Just Aloe's in the house. Hello, crew. I hope all is well. Hello, Brodny and Jose. Shout out to Just Aloe, man. Appreciate you. Danity is here. What's going on, Danity? Shout out to you. Black Daniels is in the house. As LBHT crew. Pray everyone is blessed. Yes, indeed. Rock is here, B. He said, I'll join late. Oh, nice even. I'll join later. Guy catch up on the Reggie Thea's interview. Okay, cool. AD at Bethune-Cookman. Yeah. Hope y'all have a great stream. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, we'll be talking a little Bethune-Cookman and Ed Reed in the overtime show. So if you're interested in that, jump over there after the show. Big Reg is in the house. Says, what's good, everybody? What's up, Big Reg? Zeke Okage is in the house. What's going on, my friend? Yes. Our guy Hendo Ravens online Gatekeeper says, hello, everyone. It's that time of week again. LBHT, let's get it.
What's up,
yes,
Hendo?
Yes. What's going on? Jake P's in the house. Says, what's good, fellas? What's up with you, JP? Andre Mears is in the house. Yes. What's going on? Tanja is here. She says, driving and listening. Okay. All right. Drive safe, Tanja. Drive safe. Raven Ron is in the house. What up, LBHT? I'm to the point of just let Lamar go. Tired of the suspense and cheap owner. Hey, comes with the territory, man. If we sign him, we'll look back on this time. We'll laugh like, remember, we were all nervous about signing Lamar. Good times, right? So, we just gotta wait and see. Felipe's in the house. Says Josh Allen or prime Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. No question.
I mean, look, Josh Allen looks amazing, but prime Cam Newton was unstoppable. Okay. What's up, Tracy? Says best show around. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for that. Yolanda B's in the house. Says good evening, LBHT family.
What's up,
Yolanda? Thanks for coming through. All right, who else we got in here? King 95 is here. Jonathan Washington Jr. is here. Yes, our brother OTR Mike from Open Mic with OTR Mike says, well, look who it is. 2 of LBHT, 2/3 of Ring Kings podcast, 2/6 of the Ravens Roundtable. Y'all some hardworking brothers. Yes, indeed. Yes, the Roundtable every Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Sip2 Tally Films. That's where you can find us. And OTR Mike and Chris from the Deep Cover podcast. Who else we missing? Hendo. We're all there. That's the Ravens Roundtable, along with Coach Evans. Okay, so make sure you're over there and you're subscribed Monday nights. And look, subscribe because Coach puts out a lot more videos than we do. So if you need more content, you definitely subscribe to Coach. Baseball Life, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. So what's the word, fellas? How y'all living? Hey, man, it's Wednesday, all right? And happy Wednesday, and hope your week is going well. But if not, hopefully it's getting better starting right now. All right, we are streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and Twitch. Yes. So wherever you're watching us, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you are listening to us It's probably the next day, Thursday, which is when we drop this episode on the audio podcast. So happy Thursday. Hope your lunch is going well. All right. And Rob says, I've been looking forward to this. Happy to see everyone. Yes. And our guy Ferris is here. Says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon to you, Ferris.
What's up, Ferris?
It's actually evening over here, but yeah. You're on the West Coast over there. And Brandon Beasley says, y'all missed the Prochet slander on Coach Evans' video a few hours ago.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
There's no slander. There's no slander. He gave his opinion on Prochet. Look, it is what it is. Like, we got nothing against Prochet. All right. Mm-hmm. But we told y'all. Okay. We told y'all nothing was gonna happen over here. All right. D Raggers, what's up, man? What's good, crew? Y'all heard the Hamlin conspiracy. Somebody at work asked me if we were going to talk about this on the show. I said, no, we don't talk about that nonsense. No. It's nonsense. All right. We gotta fix the Ravens, B, and we gotta fix the Panthers. Okay. We are studio GMs. Okay. We are going to be the studio general managers along with our staff, which is the chat. We are going to fix our teams this offseason, okay? We're not going to make predictions. We're not going to say, oh, I hope they get this. We are going to tell these organizations what they need. But first, before we do that, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah, I'm going to try and keep it a little short tonight. This is a Black History fact, or a person that we've talked about before on the Black History fact. But I thought that I would bring them up again, considering what's been going on over the last couple of weeks. Talking about Mary Jane McLeod Bethune, was born in South Carolina in 1875. After she was married, she moved down to Daytona, where with $1.50 started up the Educational and Industrial Training School for Negro girls. Okay? When she started up, had 5 students, 6 including her son. But it was, like the name says, it was primarily a school for young women. They didn't have any budget or anything like that. They made ink out of elderberry juice. They made their own pencils. They would go around and get furniture and stuff donated to them. Eventually, she grew that school up to 30 students. And this is a person who made education kind of their life's work. Right. And she held strongly the belief that in order to uplift, the Black people in the U.S., the best route was to educate young girls. She believed that, if you educate Black women, that would kind of lift up the whole family, the whole Black families. Right. She went on, she did a lot of work with women's suffrage, getting women the right to vote, and just doing a lot of civil rights work in general. She was part of the National Association of Colored Women. She was the president of the Florida chapter, worked her way up to being the national president. They, again, did a lot of work getting people registered to vote. She began helped found the National Council of Negro Women, which brought together the heads of 28 different organizations, and brought them all together and trying to coordinate their efforts in helping Black people in the U.S. She worked with the National Youth Administration, which was part of the Works Progress Administration under Roosevelt, President Roosevelt. And she kind of lobbied them to the point where they gave her a job in the organization. And by the time they were done, they had employed their goal was to employ young people. Between the ages of 16 and 25 who weren't in school, trying to, uplift younger people at the time. And by the time they were done, they had employed over 300,000 young Black men and women. She also helped found the United Negro College Fund, which was a group that would, give scholarships and funding for young Black people to go to college, to go to HBCUs. And what she's probably most known for, obviously, if you recognize the name Bethune, in 1931, she helped found Bethune-Cookman, which is an HBCU that's still around today, obviously. And it was founded through the church. It was, there was a lot going on in the church. The church was segregated, which she didn't like. She joined the church, just to make the school work and everything, and kind of fought against the segregation from within. And And they built up the school from a junior college to a full 4-year university, and it's kind of like the realization of her her lifelong belief in life's work. And this is a quote from Mary McLeod Bethune that's on the Bethune-Cookman website. Actually, it says, "I leave you love, I leave you hope, I leave you the challenge of developing confidence in one another, I leave you respect for the use of power, I leave you faith, I leave you racial dignity." And so, I kind of wanted to bring her up just because of what's been going on with Ed Reed in the school recently. If you haven't heard, the students there have been protesting. The living conditions. They have mold in the dorms. There's the trash all over the campus. It's not in a very good state. The football players are sharing helmets on the team, and I don't really we rarely kind of promote things in this segment, but I did want to promote the podcast that was recorded by our friend OTR Mike, Open Mike. He had a discussion about it with Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films and former NFL receiver Donarian McCants. They had a great discussion, and hopefully there will be a second discussion. So if you do want to hear more about how interim president Lawrence M. Drake II and previous administrators have failed to deliver on Dr. Bethune's promise, check out Open Mike with OTR Mike.
Yes. Perfect. And we will, and if you want to hear some every discussion before they drop the next episode, head over to our Overtime Show. We're going to have a little conversation about that. Mikey, I'm not sure what Mikey's plans are, but of course he's always welcome to join. Coach, we got our crew, they have an open invitation to join the panel. And then, if you want to join the conversation in the chat, hit up patreon.com/LBHT Show. For as little as $3, you can sign up and you can be a part of that show and have a great discussion. Danny says, an amazing video from OTR Mike. Great video to check out. Yes. A great discussion. Fire episode. Yes, it was. And what's going on, Marco G? Thanks for coming through. Says, what's good, fellas? Another week, another fire episode. Hey, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Marco. Appreciate you. Yes. All right. So it's GM time. Okay. We gotta fix the Ravens. I got a call from EDC, right? I didn't recognize his voice at first, man. Like it was a lot of weeping in the background.
Sounded like a broken man.
I was like, who? It's like, Eric, is that you? He was like, man, you gotta help me. I don't know what to do. I need direction. I need guidance. I said, all right, man. Just dry your tears. Get a tissue, blow your nose, man. You sound like a mess. All right, get yourself together, and we will work this out. All right. So we are the GMs. Okay, you are our assistants. Okay, you are assistant GMs here. All right. So the first order of business, which is the obvious one, is get Lamar locked up. Now, this is kind of out of EDC's hands, right? It's up to the owner ultimately for him to cut the check. So what EDC needs to do, him and John get on the same page. Say, John, look, you with me, right? Like Lamar needs to get paid whatever, right? Yeah, man, whatever it takes, right? Like the Avengers say, whatever it takes. Okay. So we are going to go into Bisciotti's office and we're going to say, listen, we're a package deal. Okay. Me, John, and Lamar are a package deal. If Lamar goes, we will have to step down. If he goes, we go. Right? We're stepping down. We cannot run this team without Lamar next year.
The suicide pact.
Right. So I mean, we built this team built this team for Lamar to run it. It's just not the same without him, and he deserves the money. You present all the. In fact, you get what's his name? Who's the VP that they brought in?
Sashi.
Sashi. You get Sashi to back us up. Say, Sashi, tell him the numbers. And Sashi can say, yep, yeah. He deserves all the money. See, look what all these other quarterbacks are making. He deserves all the money, right? So, I mean, Bashadi, he's worth the money, obviously. You're going to see a return on investment, right? He packs the stadiums. And in fact, because everybody's so shook right now that he might leave, when that deal gets done, man, those season tickets skyrocket, man. Sold out. Sold out, right? Yeah. Next year, sold out. And then so once he says, okay, I see your point, let's get that done. Now we move on to the obvious wide receiver room. Okay. You call in all the wide receivers, you shake their hands, and you wish them well. Say good luck with except Rashad Bateman. Duvernay is the big question, if we're being honest. He's the big question. What do we do with Duvernay, B?
Because Duvernay stays because Duvernay's still on his rookie deal. Yeah. He's a great kick returner. So he's not going anywhere. But it's Duvernay and Bateman on the right, and you just point at the other guy. It's like you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. You guys are good.
Coach Evans says, "Boo."
Hashtag Prochet. Doesn't matter.
Shout out to Prochet. And shout out to Prochet. Coach Evans put out a Prochet video today. And, look, he still has faith in Prochet. I'm not saying that Prochet can't turn his career around and become a solid contributor. Just won't be here.
I am. He's not good. What more do you all need to see? How much more evidence do you need that this dude can't play in the NFL? It's been years.
Look how hard he works, B.
I don't care how hard he works. I don't care how close to the jugs machine he stands and catches the ball. It doesn't matter. He can't play.
Jonathan Washington Jr. says offer Prochet a ball boy position. Man. No, man. Look, Hendo had it right. He said he can be on the coaching staff.
No, he can't.
Why not?
Get out. Because what's he going to coach anybody on?
Listen, man. Like he's going to. What do most of these coaches do?
You already have two supposed wide receiver / pass game specialists on the coaching staff already. Why?
What do a lot of these coaches do? They just run drills.
I don't run drills. Why?
Because he's likable. He gets them
not
pumped
anything
up.
To Baltimore.
Look,
he hasn't done anything.
If Harbaugh's nephew can be on the staff, Prochet can be on the staff.
That's because he's Harbaugh's nephew. Who is he's nobody.
He's Baltimore's son.
He is a wasted 6th round pick. And you know how difficult that is to be a waste as a 6th round pick? But he accomplished it, didn't he?
B. Mikey told you that this city loves Prochet. There will never be a city that loves Prochet the way Baltimore loves them. Shout out to Marco G for a $3 donation. What did Marco say, B? Okay, I got it here. I got it. I see it. Oh, because the donations are coming in so fast. That's what happened. All right, I'm gonna get to you in a second, Buck. Marco G says the only true need this offseason is wide receiver. Pass rush and O-line can be improved, but main issue is wide receiver. Elite wide receivers offset a lot of other areas. Yeah, I can't argue that. Look at Bengals last year, trash O-line, and they went to the Super Bowl. Bateman, and this year too, because they're hurt. Bateman and Duvernay should be wide receiver 3 and 4 and 4th and 5th options. Okay. Yeah. All right, Bateman. I mean, Bateman needs to be he needs to be a number 1. And shout out to Anonymous, says greetings everyone. Let's get it LBHT. Let me read Buck's donation. Appreciate you, Buck. Says love these 2 awesome dudes on the screen. Have a great show. Thank you, Buck. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Marco G. Yes. Really appreciate the donations. If you're wondering, if you're new in here, you're wondering how do you get that awesome animation next to Jose's face? That's how we do our super chats. There are 2 ways that we do it. First, right below B, $ LBHT Show. That is our Cash App. Second way, that pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our stream elements. Both ways, leave your donation, leave your comment, and Microphone Man will give you the raised fist, okay, and salute to you, okay. Appreciate you guys.
Anyway, so Prochet.
Look, man,
Prochet's gone. He's gone. He's
Look,
out.
You're too harsh.
No, I'm not too harsh.
You are too harsh.
You know why I'm not too harsh?
You are too harsh.
You know why I'm not too harsh? Because one of our hardworking, dedicated soldiers, courageous soldiers over there sacrificing Couch Rider Raven, he put it on the line for Prochet. He said Prochet is the man. He said Prochet going to get 800 yards. What did he finish with?
And now Couch Rider Raven owes us.
What did he finish with? What did he finish with?
Now Couch Rider Raven owes us a shirt.
Did he even crack triple digits?
Wait, what was the bet anyway? Because
800 yards and like 4 touchdowns.
No. Not talking about that part. That was just. That was free money. I'm saying, what is he giving us?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that part.
But you do owe us Couch Rider.
What did Prochet finish with? Not a goddamn thing.
Listen. It wasn't 800 yards. We should have gave him the 500 yards that they asked for to begin with.
My man is still not the 800 for his career.
That's yeah. Shout out to DDSQ. Says, what's good, fellas? Appreciate you coming through, man.
Oh my God! No, he caught 8 of 17 passes. Which, by the way, there goes your catch percentage argument that they all love to throw out last year. He caught 8 passes for 62 yards. He has 278 yards for his career and 0 touchdowns.
This is quickly derailing. Okay, I am not going to accept any Prochet slander. I'm sorry, Prochet.
You said I should have fixed the Ravens. And
where's my Channel 3 hoodie?
Key to fixing the Ravens is cleaning up the mess in the wide receiver room, and James Prochet is a big part of it.
Y'all lucky I don't have my Channel 3 hoodie down here. Okay,
I heard that was a fake anyway.
This is shameful. This is shameful. Enzo Uchiha. Okay, I see the Naruto reference here. It says, like Prochet always say, it's a great day to be great. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Why don't he ever take his own advice or follow his own words?
Man, look, it's the coaching staff. Okay, you got him out there throwing passes. He's a wide receiver.
Even an interception too. Amazing.
Yeah, well,
incredible.
Put him as position.
Yeah, so he can catch less than half of the targets.
Well, look, man, he needs more. Evil Lamar says, I think if they get a number one wide receiver, Bateman should be able to raise to his game too. All right, so do you guys think Bateman is just not number one wide receiver at this point? What do you think, B?
I think it's too early to say that. I think he has the skill to be a number one wide receiver. He's still very early in his career. He hasn't even, he's played a little bit over one full season at this point, right? And a big chunk of that was without Lamar Jackson. And all of it was with Greg Roman. So I'm not ready to close the door on Rashad Bateman at this point. He's shown that he has the ability to be a game changer. And and you even saw that when he went out and Lamar was still playing, the offense went downhill. Mm-hmm. Not as bad as when Lamar went out, obviously, but they weren't able to move the ball as consistently or as well, and they weren't able to score as much without Rashad Bateman on the field taking at least some of the attention of the defense. He was very inconsistent catching the ball. That's something you see with a lot of wide receivers. I think he comes back, and I think he's going to be much better in year 3.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a little too early. I think he definitely has the potential to be a true number one wide receiver. Now, if we're saying make him a number 2, that means we're trying to get somebody that's great here,
mm-hmm.
right? And if that's the case, yeah, cool. Because Jalen Waddle's a number 1 wide receiver, but you got Tyreek Hill, so now he's number 2, right? If it's a situation like that, yes, yes. But look, whether we bring in another person that's a number 1 or 2, we need another good wide receiver here, right? Because had we kept Hollywood, I don't think is a number 1, a true number 1, right? And Bateman hasn't played like a true number 1 yet. He's shown flashes, but if both of them were here this past season, we'd have been much better off. So get some quality receivers in here. What are you reading, B?
Xavier Smith saying he hasn't even proved he's better than Hollywood. He's not better than Hollywood right now. Hollywood is a good receiver. I said to trade Hollywood because he wasn't living up to that number 1 status and they needed somebody better. But I kind of thought that, they would replace him when they traded him. And he wasn't going to be worth the money that he's going to get, I don't think. But, they traded him and just didn't do anything.
All right, let's read some comments here. We got some good comments here. Jonathan Washington Jr. says a stud wide receiver like D-Hop or a Mike Evans can help Bateman naturally mature into being a wide receiver one if that's what he ultimately becomes. I agree. I agree. Darren asks, can we pay both Lamar and D-Hop? Yes. Yeah. Yes. And if anybody tells you no, don't listen to them. Okay. That's cap, as the young people say. Jake P says, keep Bateman and Duve. Go trade for D-Hop no matter what it costs. Draft someone in the 3rd and 4th. Okay. I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it. Marco G says Mike Evans, DJ Chark, and Bateman. Like that too. King 95 says we need another 2 great wide receivers. I like that. Where are we going to get him from? D-Hop he's available. Okay. We can always get lucky and draft one. But who do you have in mind? I'm just wondering. I don't disagree with what you're saying. Where are we going to get the other great wide receivers are hard to come by. That's what I'm asking. Marcus McClendon says sign DJ Chark, draft Jalen Hyatt. Where did he go to school? Is that Tennessee?
Tennessee. Yeah.
Yep. I like that too.
I'm gonna go the other way on you. I'm gonna say this is probably the only time you're ever gonna hear me say this, particularly for Baltimore. I'm gonna say in that first round they go defense, and they do get a wide receiver on day 2.
Wait, you're saying they should, not they're going to go.
They should go defense in round 1. Okay. They should go corner. They need to replace Marcus Peters because I'm looking at the free agent list. Marcus Peters got to go. But They should go corner in round 1 because they should also be going Mike Evans or DeAndre Hopkins. And they don't need to spend that first round pick on a guy who could, ultimately be their number 3 receiver. So you bring back Rashad Bateman, you go get preferably Mike Evans. And then you draft a guy on day 2 who can be that 3rd receiver for you. And you've got Duvernay in there as the number 5, and you go out in free agency and you get yourself a low-cost veteran who can play.
I'm not mad at that scenario.
Not DJ Chark though, because DJ don't be staying healthy.
I'm going to stick to the hashtag defund the defense. You drafted like 8 corners, okay, and you're gonna have to let them. Someone's gonna have to step up because. If you're going to keep drafting these, keeping your picks,
don't get blocked, coach. Don't get blocked.
If you're going to keep hoarding picks and talking about how important it is to build through the draft and pat yourself on the back that we're not spending money, right? And we're building through the draft and all this stuff, those picks have to pay off at some point, right? So we have Pepe Williams. Who's the other guy we drafted?
Jalen Armour Davis.
Was there one more? I thought we drafted 3.
Brandon Stevens they drafted, the year before.
Year prior.
They only drafted the 2 corners this past year.
So 3 corners in 2 years. We drafted 3rd and 2 4ths, was it?
Yes.
Yeah. 3rd and 2 4th round picks.
And slot corner Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear, we need because nobody liked how Marcus Peters played this year. Everybody saying he needs to go. Well, all right then. How are we going to replace him? Somebody else on the team can. They can't do much worse than that, right?
I will let me amend my statement a little bit. They need to go corner in the first round if Porter or Christian Gonzalez is there. Otherwise, they can go with the top.
Those are the 2 top.
Yeah,
top corner.
We got Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn
State. Yeah. Okay. Listen, you look. Even when they make the wrong picks, you can't begrudge talent. Neither one of us liked the Kyle Hamilton pick. We didn't think it was the right pick, but
I liked it at the time. I liked it until day 2 where they didn't draft George Pickens.
Well, when we say we don't like, we were like they need to go wide receiver, but he's a talented saver. So we're like, all right, man. You got talent there, right? You're never going to be really mad at getting talent. You know what I mean? So yeah, you get a talented corner, that's fine. But I will say you've drafted 3 corners already, and you need to let them play. Because if we're not going to let them play, if we're saying no, they're not good, we got to get somebody we can trust, then stop praising this team every time they make those picks. Stop praising this team every time they trade back and acquire 10, 11, 12 picks, because they're not doing anything with them. They're drafting players and they're just throwing them away and saying we need better. So no, hold them accountable. You guys drafted these corners. One of these guys better step up, right? Mm-hmm. You scouted them. You said you like them. Make them step up. Make them play. Use that pick on a wide receiver. Now, wide receiver is that the only need? Because I know everybody's saying that's our main need. I would say O-lineman. I wouldn't even say wide receiver. If we're going to trade for Mike Evans or D-Hop, I would say try to get a right tackle or guard.
Well, I think you still you want to have faith in Daniel Faalele at right tackle. I think. Left guard, they've got Ben Cleveland there. Because everybody's making the assumption that Ben Powers is going to be gone. You're not super comfortable at either guard position. I wouldn't be. I mean, Zeitler's getting old.
I think we need two guards. I'm not even sure. Is Zeitler under contract for next year? And even if he is, I think this might be the last year. I think we need two guards.
Yeah, if he's still there, it's definitely the last season.
Yeah. So even if not Ben Powers, Cleveland steps up and can take one of those spots, we still need another one. I think. Yeah, Marco G says guard because Powers is leaving. Evil Lamar says we need Maulers. Yeah, Darren says I think we need a real deal dominant edge. Always has been disappointment.
I will say this to you, Darren. That is the position where you just got to deal with it, because you used a first round pick on edge, and then you came back and used a second round pick on edge, and you just gotta deal with it. You've already got Tyus Bowser there, who I also believe was a second round pick.
See, look,
Evans is a lifelong buck. We'll see.
Look, DDSQ says we ain't trading Mike Evans. Evans is a lifelong buck. DDSQ missed the beginning. So right, what we're doing right now.
A Tampa fan. Okay.
What's going on, DDSQ, is we're playing GM because Eric DaCosta gave me a call early this morning. He was just, he was crying and all that stuff, man. He said he needed help. So we're going to play GM for him and tell him exactly what we need to do to get this team on the right track. Now, I don't know. I mean, I think Mike Evans will be available, right? They have, Tom Brady ain't there. They don't know who the next quarterback's going to be. They're paying Mike Evans a lot of money. They got Chris Godwin there. I either him or Godwin will be available. One of them will be available.
And I don't think it's going to be Godwin.
Right. So I can see him being available. But okay, you don't think he's available? D-Hop is definitely available. We know that. Right. And there's some rumors that we're supposed to be in on D-Hop, right? Ravens were interested. Okay. Either way, we need to get a wide receiver. They need to be aggressive about it. And the fact that they acknowledged it this early on tells me that they understand it's time to get serious with that position. All right, let's see. Let me read a couple more. Daniel Franklin says, agreed, Jose. They have to play. Can't keep putting everything into defense. Yeah, and back to B's point about the edge rushers. We invested too much into that position, and they're just gonna have to let it work out. Because if we keep putting everything into defense and these guys don't work out, and we keep every year saying we got to get somebody, man, listen. That this is why I criticize EDC. This is why I criticize this whole philosophy of hard-nosed defense and run the ball, because every year we got to get somebody. We just drafted. Hey, what's up? What's up, Sutton? Thanks for coming through. We just drafted Ojabo. Mm-hmm. And even though you and I said at the end of the year they're going to be saying we need an edge rusher. Yeah. I mean, we just drafted the guy. We just drafted Owe. All right. This was his second year. Ojabo played like 6 snaps. I mean, you
I heard he was a pass rush savant. So
I like what I saw in those 6 snaps. I'll tell you that. I like what I saw. I listen. I'm cool with. I mean, if we struggle next year, we struggle. But let those guys play. And look, we know what it is with Tyus Bowser. He can ball. So
yeah. So you got 3 edge rushers right there. You can fill in with minimum guys in free agency or on day 3.
Yeah. Serotonin Light says Ravens need Devontae Adams, especially after a bad year with the Raiders. I don't know if he's going to be available.
Devontae did not have a bad year with the Raiders.
Devontae
I mean, phenomenal year.
No, I think he means, it wasn't a good experience. Yeah. Devontae Adams had a great year, like stat wise, but I don't think it was a great experience there per se.
I mean, he got to play with his friend.
Yeah. Now his friend's leaving. Hey, shout out to Banks DDS for the $5 donation. Said, what does it say, B?
Because I'm from Tampa, lifelong fan. I support Black YouTubers.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Really enjoy that. Really enjoy fans of other teams coming through here and showing us love, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So hey, DDS, man, like, so you're a Tampa fan. What are you guys looking at next year?
What's the deal with y'all
for a quarterback? Like, what are you guys looking at for quarterback next year? Because I think look, they still got all the talent in the world, right? You get the right quarterback, back in business.
Yeah.
Xavier Smith says Mike Evans is the least expensive option, only due $12 million next year.
Sure, but you're gonna have to give a new contract to whoever you acquire via trade.
Yes.
But I'm not particularly worried about the cost, because who else are you paying? You're paying Lamar, and you're paying Roquan and Marcus Williams, right?
Hannah said Tampa's looking at Lamar. Yeah. Listen, if Lamar's available, everybody's looking at Lamar.
I'm looking at this list of free agents, man. It is Mediocreville, USA.
For wide receiver?
No, for Baltimore. Baltimore's free agents. I do not see very many people at all who need to come back. We're talking about, we got Marcus Peters, Roquan, they already re-signed, right?
Yeah,
so he's already back. You got Justin Houston, who played well, but he's 34 and not a young 34. Kyle Fuller doesn't need to come back. Lamar, obviously, we already talked about, needs to come back. Juwan James does not need to come back. Sammy Watkins,
I forgot we had him.
Jason Pierre-Paul doesn't need to come back. Brent Urban doesn't need to come back. Steven Means doesn't need to come back. Josh Oliver doesn't need to come back. Vince Beagle doesn't need to come back. Kenyon Drake doesn't need to come back. Daryl Worley doesn't need to come back. DeMarcus Robinson, does he need to come back? No, I don't think so. Kevon Seymour, y'all hate Kevon Seymour. He doesn't need to come back. Christian Welch, no. Tyler Huntley, don't think so. Tristan Colon Castillo, he's one I could see, you bring him back, as part of the depth of the O-line. Cool. Geno Stone, he doesn't need to come back. Delshon Phillips, nope. Nick Moore, Justice Hill. I like Justice Hill, but he doesn't need to come back. And Ben Powers, y'all already said is going to be gone because you don't want to pay him. So what was that? 2 guys who are going to cost next to nothing out of that list?
Yeah,
that's what happens when you get 10 plus draft picks every year. You fill your team with mediocre players because you're not going to hit on that many picks.
That's a fact. That's a fact right there. DDSQ says we are trash. I want Lamar here. Most Tampa fans racist. We definitely about to be trash again. We are the Clippers before the Clippers. Man, if you guys get Lamar, you'll be in here saying Super Bowl. I don't think you guys are trash, man. I think
they have a really good roster. They gutted their coaching staff, and they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, I think quarterback's crucial. I think you still have a lot of talent on that team, though.
Yeah.
We'll see about what's the coach's name?
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. Next year, I don't feel comfortable.
I don't like what went down with Todd Bowles. That felt like a pick. There's 15 coaches here. Pick half of your friends to send home, or you go home with all of them.
Yeah. And I don't like that Leftwich ain't there to have his back. I think Bowles and Leftwich got a raw deal, man. You got a 48-year-old Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You still made the playoffs. I mean, it looked ugly, but what would you expect? That man, he's always been a statue. Now he's a skeleton statue. And he's like, well, why didn't you win? Why didn't you win in the playoffs?
Yeah, and he can't throw anymore.
Right. Yeah. Brady has a $35 million cap hit.
Yeah.
But I was always told like Brady was so generous with his money, like he always took less, right? But
yeah, maybe it's a 1-year thing for y'all, and they have to find the quarterback, right? So that can take anywhere from 1 year to 30 plus if you're looking at Cleveland. But yeah, maybe they can't get the quarterback done this offseason, but they're still a really, really talented team overall, I think. But if you're going to sit and say, hey, we can't get the quarterback done, then I think Mike Evans is available.
yeah. But hey, listen, DDS, we're gonna help your GM out another time. Okay. EDC is he just finished drying his tears. He is watching the show saying, help me. And then we gotta go in and help Scott Fitterer in the Panthers half, because he needs a little help too. All right. But look, man, what are you reading? Which comment?
Xavier says it's not anymore. Tampa Tom moves different. he never did. Like he helped out, in terms of the cap hit in New England, but he always got his money, all of it.
Yeah. Danny wants to know if DJ Moore is available. No, I don't think
get out, Danny.
We're gonna talk about the Panthers. We're gonna talk about the Panthers in the second half. Look, people are sleeping on the Panthers. I'm gonna say that. People are sleeping on the Panthers. They're like 1 or 2 moves away from everybody looking at them completely different. All right. They're big moves, but they make those moves. Yeah. Some teams are going to be in trouble, but okay. So corner, I say, let it ride. Okay. If we struggle, we struggle. Edge rusher, let it ride. Again, this is the result of having 10, 11 draft picks every year. You get to a point where we're at now and we're saying, I don't really know about those guys. Well, you drafted them. You purposely didn't sign people because you drafted them. You didn't trade up in a draft. You won all your picks, so you drafted these guys. It's time to let them play. Yeah. Right. This has to be solely on the offense. Okay. And then you got to make some free agency moves as well. 1 or 2 free agency moves. But
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, other than that, like, again, the Ravens are another team, obviously they're not far. They were in the playoffs this year. They almost upset the Bengals even without Lamar. They're not far. Now the big thing that we didn't talk about is the offensive coordinator part, right? Mm-hmm. So it seems like they're doing their due diligence and looking at all the coaches, but they need to pick the right coach. And if you watch our Monday show on Coach Evans' channel, Sip to Tally Films, the Ravens Roundtable, we went over some candidates, but we'll give you a couple now in case you missed it. We talked about Frank Reich, who might be a coach for the Panthers. We'll talk about that in a minute. We talked about Brian Johnson from the Eagles. We talked about Eric Bieniemy. We talked about Byron Leftwich. All right, and a couple others like the who's it, quarterback coach or whatever from San Francisco. A couple other names were floated out there. But B, who was your favorite?
Well, my pick specifically for Baltimore was Frank Reich, because I thought that that would be a guy. He's got a lot of experience in the NFL as a coach, and he's done pretty well. And I thought that he would be there for a long time. Yeah, for extended period. Whereas Leftwich, Bieniemy, Brian Johnson, all those guys are going to be looking for head coaching jobs after a year. Yeah. Now, with Carolina maybe leaning towards Frank Reich, doesn't seem like that's going to really be possible. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and say take the best coordinator available, and that comes down to Leftwich and Bieniemy. And you really just got to be in the room with them and hear what they got to say to kind of determine that. I do want to say that Mike Evans, I saw Xavier Smith talking about a first-round pick for Mike Evans. I don't think he goes for a first-round pick. He's 29. He's got 2 years left on his deal. His cap hit this year is actually 23.7 about, and then next year it's 12.2. So you're going to have to extend him as soon as you get him, and he's already 29 years old. He's not going for a first-round pick, I wouldn't think.
Oh, excuse me, Ferris. We got a unsatisfied customer here. Ferris says, why we gotta talk Panthers in the second half? Why can't it be the first half for the Panthers? Oh, I'm sorry, Ferris. Are you our producer now? Tell you what, rally the troops. Get some more Panthers fans in here. All right. Shout out to the Panthers fans out in here. Okay. We appreciate y'all. Rally the troops. Get some more in here. Okay. And express your Panthers pride in the chat. Say, listen, we want some Panthers talk. All right. And sometimes we do switch it up. by the way. Okay, but fans don't be in here all the time. Sometimes we get to the hotness early, like when Matt Rule got fired. I had a lot to say about and when he was out there copping pleas. Shout out to Anonymous for a $15 donation. Man, thank you so much. What did that say, B?
Is Mr. Jackson mentally done with the Ravens yet?
Oh, well, I think it depends on what that offer sheet looks like.
I feel like he is. I feel like he is already, and you can change that, like you said, with that offer. But I think he probably is. I think he's got one foot out the door right now.
Yeah, shout out to Michael G. I'm gonna read that in a second. But think about it at your job, right? There at Jay's, you're done. You're just like, man, let me go look on Indeed real quick and see what they got out there, right? You're done with the job, right? And then next thing you know, they hit you with that raise. You're like, oh, okay. Sometimes it's not even a raise. It's just things get a little better. You're like, okay, I'm cool now. Things have changed. Things are a little bit better now. I'm fine where I'm at. Everybody has bad days at work. It's no different for Lamar. Right now, I'm sure he's feeling like, man, I'm not feeling what's going on. But now they're trying to, change things up. They're trying to show that they're committed to him. They just picked up his cousin. Y'all see that? Trayvon Mullen. They're like, hey, we got family here.
Oh, I forgot about that. So you don't even need the corner.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah. And shout out to Hendo. Let me go. Hendo, I'm gonna read yours. Let me go to Marco G's real quick. Let me go back to his, and then I'm gonna read yours. Michael G says, if Bengals go on to win the Super Bowl, Ravens coaching staff should be criminally charged with 3 counts of aiding and abetting a foreign enemy, 3 counts of treason, 2 counts of conspiracy, and several counts of perjury and false statements throughout the season. So look, I want to talk about that for a minute, because I picked the Chiefs to win, but I'm rooting for the Bengals. I want the Bengals to win it all. I wanted the Bengals to win it last year, right? Everybody's like, no, how could you? How could you? The Bengals don't have a Super Bowl in their history. I want each team in our division to be Super Bowl winners, right? It brings more prestige to the division. Okay, it means more in these division rivals. Okay, I want them to win it all. But also, it does put pressure on this coaching staff. It does put pressure on this organization, because nobody wants to see their rivals win, and especially when we're looking at the game that we lost to them. Yes, okay, if we had Lamar in the game, yeah, everybody thinks, man, we probably would have crushed them. But guess what? If he had anything else on that team, right, we probably would have beat them, right? If we had a competent offensive game. If we had, wide receivers, if we had a complete O-line, like if we had just good schemes, we could have won that game. But no, like, it shows you the deficiencies that we have in this team, and that's by design. This wasn't injuries, right? This wasn't just bad luck. This was, we are purposely going to take from the offense to add to the defense. Defense looked great, offense looked terrible, and that's why we lost, and that's why we're sitting at home. Right. And meanwhile, the Bengals have a chance to win it all. Oh, you guys, you didn't like that. Marcus said, hell no, Jose. I never want to see the Bengals get one. Their fans are insufferable.
You know what's really cool about that whole thing there that's going on with other teams' fans? You don't have to listen to them.
Listen, their fan base is the same thing about us. Every fan base says that about another fan base, because every fan base has insufferable fans. Right. Ravens fans have delusional, insufferable fans.
We got Ravens fans, Giants fans, Lions fans, Bucks fans, Steelers fans, all in this chat. Are any of them insufferable?
Cardinals? Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So if you come across somebody who's a Bengals fan and they're being insufferable about the Bengals, just stop talking to them. Block them.
Right. Yeah. That's all. You're gonna get those people, man. But who's the what's the guy's name that does the show with Sonny? They have AFC North Talk, right? It's you got YouTubers from each team in the AFC North. So Sonny from SDG Sports for the Ravens. You got Quincy Carrier for the Browns. I forget the guy's name for the Steelers, and Stripe City, I think his name is.
I think so. Stripe
City for the Bengals. He's really cool. And most of you guys know why am I forgetting his name now? I'm drawing the blank. The one that
he's a Bengals fan, he's an insufferable.
Yeah. I've mentioned it before. He tells all these stories about like athletes and stuff like that. What happened to him?
Flemlo.
Yeah, Flemlo Raps. He's a Bengals fan, right? Really cool.
Yeah,
really cool. You know, I would love to have him on the show. Just pick his brain one day, man. Like I think he's awesome, right? So I mean, listen, man. Like, don't listen to the trolls. Don't let trolls ruin your day. You block them.
And you know what? Their fans may be insufferable, but their quarterback's real cool.
Yeah,
my man sat up at that podium and said, "Our window is me."
I like it. Yes. What's up, Adit? Adit Mahmoud is in the house. He says Mike McDonald is 34. Chris Horton is 38. I feel like the offensive coordinator should be more than 40, no more than 42. Okay. Arden and Robinson are both under 40 and are Shanahan/McVay guys and would fit the best. I wouldn't be mad at those. Somebody else is Zach Robinson too. Jonathan Washington Jr. says
I wouldn't love Outen, but Zach Robinson I think would be a solid choice if that's the route that they want to go. But you know, I do think a team like Baltimore, they should be looking for someone with experience because they are ready to win right now. If they go out and do make the 1 to 2 moves that they need to make this offseason, they're going to be competing for Super Bowls right now.
Listen, man, I want a black offensive coordinator. That's right. I said it. I want a black offensive coordinator. One, because we always talk about, you know, relating to, you know, having a good relationship with the quarterback. Not saying a white coordinator can't do that, but I want a black offensive coordinator, especially a former black quarterback like Byron Leftwich, who understands some of the struggles that a black quarterback will have in this league, right? I want somebody there to kind of, you know, have his back, somebody that's going to take more interest in him and is not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, you know, we need a quarterback to run my system, right? Somebody that's truly invested in him. And a black coach just inherently has more of a higher sense of urgency to win because of the nature of the business in the NFL, how black coaches are treated in the NFL. Look, Byron Leftwich just got fired.
Byron Leftwich won the Super Bowl 2 years ago as the offensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he is out of a job.
Yes. Eric Bieniemy, they only brought him back for 1 more year. They're talking about firing him. He's in his 5th straight AFC title game.
Mm-hmm.
5th straight. This man has won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2 Super Bowls in his 5th straight AFC title game. And they still talking about, oh, I don't know if he can get a head coaching job. We're not sure if he's going to be an offensive coordinator for the Chiefs next year.
Right.
So give me one of those two that has that fire, that instant. No, like we have to make it work with him. I don't want somebody coming in here being comfortable, chumming it up with Harbaugh and just being lazy, because that's what happened with Greg Roman. He was lazy. He felt no sense of urgency. He never felt like he was. Yeah, and he didn't get fired. I want to remind you guys, he didn't get fired. He just said, "All right, man, I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna step down now. I don't like the memes out there. I don't like people calling me a terrorist, right? I don't like those jokes. Okay, it makes me feel bad. So I'm gonna leave. Okay." They let him walk out that door. He was way too comfortable. They should have gave him the boot. Okay, so that's what I want. Yes, that's right. Joe's extra shiesty. Yes, Black Daniels. That's right. Black Daniels also says someone that understands the doggone route tree can create concepts to get receivers open without using a fullback as a decoy. I mean, that goes without saying. What's up, DJ Malone? Says, what's up, gents? Thanks for coming through, my friend. Yeah, Ferris. Yeah, you never seen those tweets. They had a lot to say about G-Row. It was pretty bad. Tanja says Leftwich didn't look that good. Was it Brady because they were not on the same page all season?
Oh, it was definitely Tom. That's the same reason that Mike Evans didn't look good all season. Tom can't play anymore. And nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to kick him out because he's Tom Brady. But he's done. He's finished.
So, I mean, he looked great the 2 years prior when they won the Super Bowl and they were, they were in a divisional round of the playoffs. Like, looked great then, right? So, All right, even if you say, hey, he had a down year, his total body of work looks amazing. Super Brother says Chiefs can't completely strip their offense because Pat Mahomes can't really carry a team like Lamar.
I don't know.
What do you mean completely strip? I don't think they're ever going to completely strip their team. I mean, they let one wide receiver go, and they still have the best tight end in the world.
Yeah,
I mean, they look amazing. They look amazing. They will never strip that team. They'll always put weapons around Pat Mahomes. If you're talking about the offensive coordinator, I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, from what we heard, and just based off of the deal that they gave him, they only gave him a 1-year deal. They might be ready to move on with them, right? You know, that people kind of put out there that him and Mahomes don't have the best relationships, although I think it's been exaggerated a little bit. But I don't know. But if he's available, I want him. Yeah. All right. Look, and what's up, NDT Sports? Thanks for coming through. Yeah, the scapegoat left with Evil Lamar. Brandon Tillman says it's funny how we want John Harbaugh, who came from Andy Reid tree, and now we thinking about neither Andy Reid, another Andy Reid personnel. Yeah, that's right. Harbaugh ran his course.
Yeah.
You know, he ran his course. But we're talking about offensive coordinator right now. We're not talking about head coach. We're talking about offensive coordinator. So Harbaugh's still here. I mean, they made that choice. But I'm ready for Harbaugh to go. So all right. Now, because Ferris has been crying about it, let's get to the Panthers portion of the podcast. Yes, Panthers Nation. Here we go. Look, B, I got a call from EDC early this morning. I think sometime at work, B got a phone call from Scott Fitterer. He was sounding a little hysterical. He's just like, man, look, Matt Rule been trolling me. You know Matt Rule's still doing interviews, right? About the Panthers.
Yeah. About how sorry he is that he threw Cam Newton under the bus.
Listen, Ravens fans, for all the ones that can't stand G-Roll, we don't talk about Harbaugh, right? Because you guys have more disdain for G-Roll. Matt Rule is 10 times worse.
Greg Roman's a stand-up guy. He's just bad at his job. Matt Rule is a terrible person.
Imagine somebody being as bad as G-Roll, but won't stop talking, even after he got fired. Still talking,
even not even just after he got fired, because he went on a little redemption tour to clean up his image a little bit. He won't stop talking after he got himself another job.
He's got another job.
Go to Nebraska and do your job. Like, why are you talking about Cam Newton?
He said, "No, man, I gotta spit this hot fire."
Neither one of you is in the NFL anymore. Why are you talking about him?
Danity is absolutely right. Rule is way worse than G-Roll. G-Roll's a likable. If I saw G-Roll on the street, I would shake his hand. Right? He seems like a likable guy. Hey, didn't quite work out there, but you seem like a cool guy.
That's why I said, for me, I don't care if they fire him or not. He's not a bad. He doesn't look like a bad person. He's not a malicious person. I think he did the job to the best of his abilities. They put him in a bad position, along with him not being qualified for the job, but that's not really his fault. If somebody says, I'm going to offer you one of 32 positions in the world, you're going to be at the top of this profession, and I'm going to pay you near the top of the 32 positions. Are you going to say I'm not qualified for that, or are you going to take the money as long as they give it to you?
Listen, Matt Rule, I hope they tossed him out casino style. You know what? You guys see you guys seen Casino? You remember when Sam Rothstein, De Niro's character, tells security, I want you to grab that guy. He told the two security guys, pick him up, open the door with his head, use his head to open the door and toss him out. And that's exactly what they did. I hope Tepper told his security to throw Matt Rule out the same exact way. Okay. Casino style. That's a new term. Listen, hashtag casino style. Okay. That's going to be the new term when we are sick of a coach and we need him out. Hashtag casino style. Get him out of here. Okay.
I'm not putting up your comment, DJ. We don't condone violence.
Oh no, DJ. Come on. No.
Now for a fee,
I
I'll put
think
up whatever.
I think he meant he would drink a pop with G-Roll. See, I cleaned that up.
With that capper.
Yeah. Black David says Tepper and his sandals would never be that aggressive.
That's why you tell other people to do it. You don't have to be.
Right.
And what do you mean? He's got a statue of bronze or brass balls on his desk, right? I mean, that's got to mean something. That's what everybody told me. Anyway,
so Tepper called you and said, "Hey, help me out, man. Help me out, okay? I'm tired of Matt Rule trolling me, saying he built this team and I'm nothing without him, okay? So, all right, look, our assistant GMs, help us out, okay? We got to fix the Panthers. So right now, how many needs would you say be that they need?
I mean, Panthers ain't broken. They don't need to be fixed. They're in the process of assembly.
Okay.
They need quarterback. Obviously, they need a starting running back because I don't really want to pay Deonta Foreman. I don't think he's a starting running back.
I agree.
They need, I would say, they want to get a starting guard and a center because Corbett, excuse me, just had surgery. He tore his, I believe, his ACL. So don't really know what kind of condition he's going to be in for the start of the season. And the center position was kind of, up and down anyway. They were starting Pat Elflein a lot. They got Bradley Bozeman, but he was on a 1-year deal, so he's a free agent now.
He did nothing.
Yeah. But I think they need to build in some depth on that O-line regardless, right? So they need quarterback. They need a starting running back. They need some depth at least on the O-line. They need a wide receiver too. They need a starting tight end. They need a second corner because despite the fact that they have brought in twice as many corners as the Ravens, they don't have a second corner. They drafted a couple of guys who didn't pan out in Troy Pride and Stanley Thomas Oliver.
Yeah.
They traded for CJ Henderson. That hasn't worked out. They traded for Stephon Gilmore, which did work out, and they let him go immediately. They brought in AJ Bouye in free agency and let him go. They re-signed Dante Jackson, which was a terrible move to begin with.
Stephon Gilmore played well for y'all. Stephon Gilmore played well for y'all, left and played even better.
Yeah. So now they're sitting here with J.C. Horn, and they need another corner there. They have some decent depth at corner, but they need that starting guy opposite of J.C. Horn. Derek saying D tackle. They've got Derek Brown. They do need somebody beside him.
Bravion Roy.
No, ideally.
Okay.
They want to find another really good edge rusher. They've got Frankie Luvu, who's been playing great for them. They've got Marquise Haynes. They've got Itir Gross-Matos, but those guys aren't Hassan Reddick, right? Who they let walk after last season. Those are things that are a little bit down the list of importance, right?
All right, look. Our assistant GMs are already working hard for you, B. Evil Lamar says Panthers need Saquon. How would you feel about Saquon Barkley?
I don't think that they need to pay a running back like that. I really don't.
You just said that you wanted a
starting. No, I want them to get a starting running back, but he's going to want a lot of money, I don't think that they need to outbid somebody.
He said money ain't the most important thing to him. He said he ain't worried about resetting the market.
That's what he said to a reporter.
So
I bet you he ain't saying that to the Giants GM.
So look, I understand you want you don't want to pay too much, but like if he came at a solid price,
I don't want them to pay that kind of money for a running back because they just got rid of a better running back.
Yeah,
kept Christian McCaffrey if that was the case.
Younger though.
If you're going to try and build it around, he's like a year younger. If you're going to try and build it around the running back again, you should have just kept Christian. He's a better player than Saquon.
So draft one?
Yeah, I'd be fine with them drafting one. That's really going to be the issue, right? Because like Mel Kiper came out with his first mock draft today, right? He has Chicago going with Jalen Carter out of Georgia. Second pick to Houston was CJ Stroud. The guy who, you know, you were kind of hoping would fall to 9 or fall down to 5 and you could trade up and get him or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So he goes at 2. Then at 5, I believe. Well, no, there was the Colts at 4 took Bryce Young.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Anonymous for the donation. What did Anonymous say?
That says likelihood Ken Dorsey is the new Panthers OC. I don't think he would leave Buffalo for an OC position. I think, you know, if he's going to leave Buffalo, it's going to be as a head coach, and it doesn't look like he's in the running for head coach in Carolina, unfortunately. I was hoping that would be the guy, but right now what they're saying is Frank Reich got a second interview, Kellen Moore got a second interview, and Steve Wilkes got a second interview.
Yeah.
So it's sounding like it's down to those 3 guys.
And I'm sorry, Hendo, I forgot to read this earlier. Appreciate that donation. It says, and that's a fact, Jack, in his Mr. Ferris voice. Appreciate you. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
let me. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah. So I just I don't think that they should be looking into a running back like that. You know, if they want to go in the draft and pick up that guy. But like I said, at quarterback, you had CJ Stroud going 2nd, Bryce Young going 4th. At 5, they had Will Levis going to Seattle because screw Gino, I guess. And then falling down to 9, they had Carolina taking Anthony Richardson. Now, if you're taking Anthony Richardson at 9, you're likely saying we're kind of punting this year because he's not really – most people think he's not going to be ready to play. And so you're going to have to bring in a veteran quarterback. You know, and I saw some people saying Jacoby Brissett because, you know, he's played for Frank Reich before and blah, blah, blah. But you're kind of punting the season a little bit if you're bringing in Anthony Richardson. And I wouldn't even be totally against that as long as you built a coaching staff that has done it before, that has gotten a young quarterback and developed them before. If that's the pitch, then that's fine. That's great. Otherwise, I think they need to find a way to trade up and get CJ Stroud if need be. They have extra picks from the Christian McCaffrey trade, so they can certainly make that happen. And then in the rest of the draft, I think it needs to be offense heavy. You know, a couple years ago, they went every single pick on defense, right? And then they came back the next year and they passed on Justin Fields to take cornerback J.C. Horn. Now, they picked several offensive players in that draft, but they also went defense in that draft as well. So I think that they need to switch their focus to the offense. You know, you go quarterback in that first round, come back in the second round and try and get that wide receiver 2 or the starting tight end or even the depth on the O-line. You can get a running back in round 3 or later. But I think they need to really, really focus in on completing the offense at this point.
Okay. Now, Brandon wants to know what happened to your pitch for J.C. Horn and 2 picks for Lamar. Now, well, hold on. Look, here's the thing. We are basing our scenarios in, you know, look, for the Ravens, as a Ravens GM, acting GM, we're doing best case scenario. Okay, that's Lamar, signing Lamar and building around Lamar. Panthers, yes, if Lamar becomes available, right? They're gonna you know, full pitch, you know, like they're gonna go all out, full court press to get Lamar Jackson. Okay, but only every team is going to make a pitch for him. Only one team can get Lamar Jackson, so you have to have a contingency plan in case you don't. Okay, now we already heard the pitch for Lamar. We already heard how they're going to try to get Lamar if he becomes available. Now this is the contingency plan that we're hearing. The reason why you haven't heard a contingency plan from me yet is because if we don't get Lamar, it's all nuclear, right?
The contingency plan is Jose is a Dolphins fan.
It's blow it all up. It's listen. There is no contingency plan. Is what I'm saying. If you don't sign Lamar, game over. Game over. You're all getting fired. It won't be EC calling me. It'll be the next GM calling me saying, "Hey, so how should we build this team?" Hello. Let's see here. We had another question here. Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, who's better?
I think that right now Bryce Young is better. CJ Stroud showed a lot in that playoff game against Georgia. I did not think that he was capable of playing well under pressure, and he kind of disproved that in that game. Now, whether or not that was a one-game thing or that's who he really is going to be the question. If that's who he really is, then CJ Stroud is better. But if that was kind of had his best moment at the most, in his most important game, but that's not really what you can expect from him on, week in and week out, then I go with Bryce Young. Bryce Young brings the size concerns. He's short. He does not weigh a lot. And so people are going to question his durability. CJ Stroud doesn't have that. He's more of your prototypical size. But up until this point, it had been Bryce Young has shown you that he's a playmaker under pressure. Yep. I think we all saw that Texas game where that rusher came free and he ducked right under him and escaped the pocket and ran for a first down. And that was something that CJ Stroud hadn't really shown. But against Georgia, in the biggest moment of his college career, he played unbelievably well under pressure, under constant pressure from the best defense in the country. So again, if that's who he is, then go get CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Be the change you wish to see, says CJ all day. HR Cruz in the house, what's going on? Says, I just got here. What do y'all think about Frank Reich? So we talked about Frank Reich as a possible candidate for offensive coordinator for the Ravens, but he interviewed with the Panthers today, right? Was it today he interviewed? Was it two interviews?
He's done 2 interviews. I believe the second was today, I believe.
So, all right, okay. So, head coach is obviously the other major need. Like the 2 major needs for me for the Panthers are head coach and quarterback, obviously. Mm-hmm. And you interview Frank Reich twice, Kellen Moore been interviewed twice, and Steve Wilkes has been interviewed twice. That's why I put him in the thumbnail. I know everybody's like, well, why is Steve Wilkes there? He got a second interview. So you make it to the second interview. You're more than just a token interview. That means they're seriously considering him. Yeah. He may not get the job, but he's in serious considerations for the job. They're not going to waste time with somebody that they don't really want, right? So they're looking at him. I think those are the 3 that got second interviews.
Yeah, they interviewed Shane Steichen. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry. But the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, and they say it did not go the way they hoped it was going to go. So
really?
So it sounds like he's going to be out.
I would like to hear more details about that. Like,
I think I don't know if there's any great story behind it other than just it wasn't as good an interview as they were hoping for. Wow. I hadn't heard anything about Ken Dorsey.
Was it? They're asking him like just some basic concepts. He's like, man, I don't know, just ask coach.
Yeah, but I haven't heard anything about how Ken Dorsey's interview went, but obviously if he's not getting a second interview, probably didn't go great. I don't know why Kellen Moore is getting a second interview. But this is part of the problem with the way the NFL hires coaches, right? Because maybe Shane and Ken just aren't great interviewers, right?
Yeah.
But interviewing is a different skill set from what they're actually going to be doing in the job. It's a different skill set from every job that you're going to do, right? So I don't know why, you have to have some way of trying to get to know a candidate, but that Kellen Moore has failed repeatedly in the actual process of coaching, right?
It's tough, man. Like, look, that's how most jobs are, right? They try to assess your skill level and your knowledge in an interview, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, even if it's like 2 or 3 rounds of interviews, like they're just trying to ask you questions and assess whether you're a good fit or not. It's same thing with head coach. So
but the problem with head coach interviews is like in other industries, at least the people who are interviewing you are,
they're knowledgeable.
In theory, they're knowledgeable and they're in that profession. These owners can't, they're not going to be able to outfox any of these coaches, even the worst coaching candidates. Like, you're not going to trap any of these guys in a box. Like, what do you? you don't know anything about what they do.
Yeah. So then really, because if it's Tepper, what does Tepper know? Right? It's Tepper and Fitterer. Really,
and Tepper's wife. After she finishes
her sensitivity training.
Yeah. God, man.
So really, what are you looking for? Personality compatibility, right?
Yeah.
And
which is important. Like you have to have a group that gets along.
I do not have to. If I'm the owner, I don't have to like the head coach. I don't ever have to talk to that guy.
You do need people who get along, because and it's important, because you're not going to sit in the owner. You're going to make rash decisions about a guy that you hate.
Yeah.
Right. And the GM and the coach is more specifically what I meant. They have to get along, because they have to work together constantly to put the team together. So I mean, that is important, but the other part of it is more important, and you're not qualified to interview any of these guys on that piece.
Yeah. Be the change you wish to see says college coaches interviews are more important because of the ability to sell yourself correlates to recruiting. I hear you on that.
I think that's true to an extent, because selling yourself to an AD is nothing like selling yourself to a 17 or 18-year-old kid.
Right. But look, the pitch that you give to the AD, and AD can assess like, hey, that might be a good, I like his personality, I like his energy. I hear you. Yeah, it's a little bit more relevant. Yeah. E. Lamar says, at least Panthers owner wants to win and be great. I don't know what in the world Bisciotti wants. Listen, man, David, look, Tepper has made some bad choices.
The Panthers owner passed on Deshaun Watson and said, "Give me Baker."
And
does he want to win?
And he passed on Justin Fields.
Passed on Justin Fields for a corner.
Like, I mean, yeah. If he wants to win, he's still making bad choices, man. And Bisciotti is it remains to be seen, right? He's being stubborn, but he might come around. Okay, so Frank Reich.
Yeah.
If he gets that, then we got to cross him off the list. Panthers fans, we got to cross him off the list. He's a serious candidate. How you feel about Frank Reich as getting that head coaching job?
Man,
you don't like it?
I wanted one of the younger up and coming offensive minds.
Right? He's not 90.
But he's like 65.
That's fine.
No, it's not fine. But
wow, ageist over there.
I'm not being ageist. I'm saying that he's not in tune with the NFL going forward, right? That I want a guy who's going to be the coach for a long time. But I'm not totally against it. I think he's a decent enough coach. He's an experienced coach. He played in Carolina for a year. I don't know why anybody cares about that, but people keep bringing that up. If they hire Frank Reich, it's going to be more important who the OC is, who the quarterback coach is. Because again, I want them to bring in people who have a track record of developing young quarterbacks. And Frank Reich doesn't really have that. Frank Reich was a guy who was in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz, the uncoachable one, and got a head coaching job in Indianapolis and said, hey, who we should trade for? Carson Wentz. And then he got fired after he made his second quarterback decision, Matt Ryan. So I'm not sure that Frank Reich really is in tune with what you need in a quarterback to win today.
Did he make the decision to bring in either one of those quarterbacks, or was
that's why he got fired this year? Well, more specifically, he got fired because they're
trying to tank.
Well, I mean, were they?
I think
it was the quarterback decision that got him out of there. But I'm just saying, like, he had to have input as the head coach in those decisions. Yeah. Who is going to Carson Wentz if Frank Reich doesn't say, yeah, no, bring in Carson? That's the guy.
Yeah.
Right. If he tells him, hey, Carson is an a-hole who nobody likes and who doesn't listen to his coaches, they're not going to trade for Carson Wentz.
Now, I think, okay, I can give you the Matt Ryan thing, right? But everybody knows what it is with Carson Wentz. I mean, Doug Peterson said, you know what? You stay, I'll leave. okay, in Philly. He quit and stayed out of football for a year because he just wanted to get away from Carson Wentz. Doug Peterson is doing very well, right?
But I'm saying, and Frank Reich brought that guy into Indianapolis and said he's going to be my quarterback.
Yeah, okay, right. But, nobody, it's one of those things nobody really knew yet. Okay, maybe him and Doug Peterson don't really talk, and he didn't get the word that
he was the OC.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, look, maybe he thought, okay, well, he was fine when I was there. I didn't see any issues, so all right, we'll bring him in and we'll work. He'll work better over here.
Maybe he's oblivious to what goes on in the workplace. That sounds fantastic.
Listen, but look, Ron Rivera made the same mistake. He said, okay, he didn't work out in two places. He'll work out here. And
yes, Ron Rivera, famously bad at picking quarterbacks.
My point is, man, like yes, he didn't pick the right quarterback, but again, this ain't all on him. The GM's got to have some culpability in this as well. Like, I'm
not saying that he doesn't, but I'm saying that he multiple times, because I believe he was the head coach when they picked up Philip Rivers as well.
Yes, but they I mean,
multiple times
they got to the division round of the playoffs with Philip Rivers, didn't they?
Yeah. I don't remember if it was the divisional round.
Oh no. They almost, because they lost in the last second field goal to the Bills.
Yeah. But that was a bad decision because Philip was beyond done.
So he likes the seasoned quarterbacks.
Yeah, and don't want that round here. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So
we got 90. Hold on, we got 9 people in here. 9 people in here. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if you are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Okay. We talk Ravens and Panthers over here. Okay. We are fixing these teams. Okay. The GMs called us and they told us we need your help. So you guys need to help us out putting together these teams. All right. I'm sorry. Finish your thought, B.
No. I'm just saying, like, he's not a guy that I'm going to trust in terms of picking and developing the quarterback. It's just not. I just don't think that's within his skill set. That's what I'm saying. If they hire Frank Reich, it's going to be much more important who ends up as the OC, who ends up as the quarterback's coach. And things like that.
So then we got to cross him off the list for Ravens OC, because I don't want him going in there with that old school mentality and not fitting with Lamar, right?
I'm not sure if it's an old school mentality in terms of play. Like, I think on the field his offenses are fine. I'm just talking about, like, we don't have the guy. You already do. You know, in Indianapolis they had Andrew Luck right at the beginning, and they were fine. But it was when Andrew Luck was gone and like, oh, we got to replace him, that he was like, I know, let's make a stupid decision. Oh, that didn't work. Let's make another one. Oh, that didn't work again. Let's make another even worse decision with Matt Ryan. Like, it's just, I don't know that he can be part of building it,
Danny wants to know, what about Trey Lance for the Panthers? I don't think the 49ers will keep him. I don't think he's going anywhere.
The 49ers are going to keep him. There's no incentive to trade him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still on his rookie deal, and you're not going to get value for him because nobody knows what he is. And you're not going to pin your hopes on a 7th round pick because of a 8-game stretch at best.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, Brock Purdy mania, that's a great run for him, but no, that's not who they're leaning on. At best they'll give him a small competition window in training camp to compete with Trey Lance, but they're all in on Trey Lance. They put they traded up and they spent a very high pick on him. That's the guy that they chose in the offseason, right? Yeah. Over Jimmy G. He's the guy that they want. So he's going to get every chance to keep his starting job next year. It's still his job
over now, Jimmy G, who was also better than Brock Purdy, mind you.
Yes, yeah. So, okay. So I mean, is there anything else we need to cover for the Panthers right now? Because speaking of coaches, while we're on the topic of coaches, the one coach that was thought to be the most coveted head coach candidate this offseason is looking like he is going back to television. We are talking about Sean Payton, right? that came out earlier that he's looking to go back. B, what happened with Sean Payton? I thought all these teams wanted him. Is it a situation where it weren't as many teams as interested as we thought, or he just didn't really like the offers that he was getting?
I think it's a bit of a combination. I think that, I think he wanted to come back for the Chargers job. I think he wanted to go and coach Justin Herbert.
Right? He thought Staley was going. He thought this was going to
be like us all, like all of us. He thought that Staley was going to be out. But I think that, I think that's part of it, and I think the Chargers would have been into that, right? Like they would have loved that. But nobody else wants you. Like, and this is what I thought about with Frank Reich. I say we've said for a while there's a coaching crisis in the NFL. It's not that there aren't guys who can play quarterback. It's not that there aren't guys who can play offensive line. It's that there aren't guys who can coach them to play modern football. Right. And you're seeing the transition to the new generation of coaches, and that's where teams are going. They want the younger coaches who know modern football, not these older guys who came up through a different era. And Sean Payton is one of those guys. And he was very successful. He was successful. He was there for 15 years in New Orleans with Drew Brees. He won 1 Super Bowl. They were competitive. They were contenders most of the time, not all the time. But he was a successful coach.
Yeah.
But are you banking on him being able to replicate that, in 2023 and moving forward? I don't want to take that chance. I would much rather get a guy like Steichen or Kafka or Dorsey or Zach Robinson and take a chance on one of these younger guys who are more in tune with the game today than bringing back Sean Payton, who thinks he's the little king of everything, and saying, hey, here's the reins to the entire organization. Go ahead and try and rebuild the Saints from 2005 or 2007 or whatever year it was, and see if you can do it. You can't do it.
Okay. All right. So Peyton, bye-bye. Going back to TV. So all right, Scott Fitterer, if you're listening up, Frank Reich.
Plus it costs way too much to bring him in.
Yeah. All right. If you're listening, if you're listening, Scott Fitterer, Frank Reich out. You don't need you shouldn't waste your time on a second interview. He's gone. Don't worry about calling him back. Okay. Steve Wilkes, B doesn't like Steve Wilkes. Out of here. And
that's not true. Okay. Listen, no, you're not gonna paint me like the guy who hates Steve Wilkes.
I didn't say you hate Steve Wilkes. I said you didn't like Steve Wilkes.
I don't dislike Steve Wilkes.
Okay, call Steve Wilkes back, Scott Fitterer, and say, hey, we're seriously considering you for this job.
I didn't say all that. I said I didn't dislike him.
Right.
That doesn't mean I think he's the guy for the job, but I hope he gets a head coaching job somewhere outside of Charlotte. I don't think he's the right guy in Carolina.
Good point, Daniel. Daniel says, yes. Plus the team will have to give up picks for Peyton, and nobody's doing that. Okay. So Wilkes out, right?
Yes, but Wilkes out is a different statement than the statement you made. That's all I'm saying. I'm just cleaning it up.
I didn't say you didn't like him personally. You don't like him for the job.
I do like him.
You like him for the job?
No, I didn't say I like him for the job.
B doesn't like Steve Wilkes. He hates him. He thinks he's a terrible person. No Frank Reich. No Steve Wilkes. Okay,
we had an hour. It's time to shut it down.
All right, we're going fast. No Kellen Moore. Your answer is Ken Dorsey. Right?
That's who I wanted. I wanted Ken Dorsey. They didn't even interview Byron Leftwich. I would take Kafka over Frank Reich. I really don't. Right. I used to like Kellen Moore.
We're gonna speed this up. The answer is Ken Dorsey. That's who you want.
Yeah,
Ken Dorsey as your head coach.
That's been the number one the whole time.
Running back Saquon, yes.
No.
Oh, I tried to slip that in there. I'm sorry.
No.
So what's the answer at running back?
I would have to look at the actual list of free agent running backs, but I know that there are a lot of running backs available. I mean, look, Josh Jacobs is available. He had a better year than Saquon.
I like Josh Jacobs too.
And I don't think he's going to make as much money as Saquon.
Really?
I don't think he will.
I think he'll make more.
I don't think he will. But regardless, what I'm saying is that there are other running backs available, right? So I think that they're fine with going into the draft and getting a guy on day 2 or day 3.
Attitude Pop says you want Ken Dorsey, whose offense didn't score more than then 10 points versus the Bengals.
Hey, what happened to Frank Reich this year? Attitude pop 3. did he finish the season as the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts? So tell me which one's better.
It's one bad game.
One game doesn't define you, especially when it was Josh Allen missing them. Ken Dorsey would have made those throws. I know that. God damn, man.
Okay, all right. So, all right,
nonsense.
All right, corner. We want to do a corner.
Oh man, I just got the running back free agent list up. At corner, I want them to sit Dante Jackson down and tell him to start taking his job seriously and to do it. All right.
Okay. All right.
And I like Heath Taylor.
There you go. See, Attitude Pop says you're right.
Thank you, Attitude. I know.
Okay. Be nice to Attitude Pop. Goodness. All right, let's go.
Yeah, like I said, running back, I'm fine with them doing like a running back by committee type of thing. They've got Chuba Hubbard. I like like Blackshear. I think he's got some talent. So I would be fine with them getting a guy in the third round or later and just adding him into the mix. And with a creative offensive coordinator, just being able to use multiple guys.
All right. Okay. There you go. All right. Now let's get into some NFL playoff talk. The teams that are still around. Do we have that? Banner?
I don't think we have a graphic for it. But
we don't have a graphic. I'm sorry. I did not download a graphic, but it's fine. We just, look, it's the conference championships. It's that time of year where fans of teams who didn't make it or got eliminated, they're not as enthusiastic about these games, but there are some games going on, and they're going to be some exciting games, and you need to watch and enjoy. Okay, what are you laughing over there, B?
I shouldn't even put that up. It's ridiculous.
Be the change you wish to see says Brodny gets feisty when it's his bedtime. Listen, it's creeping up there, okay? And I'm looking. Trust me, every time you see me look this way, I'm looking at that clock. All right. There will be no 2 hours over here. These shows have gone way too long, okay? But we appreciate hanging out with you guys, man. You guys show up and you show love, man. We just want to just read as many of these comments as we can. We can't read as many comments as we used to because you guys just flood this chat box. It's a good thing. But if you really need to be heard, if there's something that we don't get to read and you think, man, I got a great point, I need them to read this, right? There are two ways you can do it. It's our version of super chat. Right below B, $ LBHT Show. That's the Cash App. Also, that pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our stream elements. Both ways, you leave a donation, leave a comment, and we'll get a nice animation right next to my face, and we will read your comment, okay? Also, the other way is patreon.com/LBHT Show, okay? Sign up for our Discord. Just $3, okay? If you have $3, you can sign up, and it's essentially a one-time fee, right? Once you're in, you're in. So, you cancel your membership later on, you're still part of our community, and, the community is growing. And there's a lot of interaction in there. You can always keep the conversation going on in there. Okay. And we'll talk more about Patreon in a minute, but let's talk.
See, I got the list up now. There's plenty of running backs available. You got Saquon, Kareem Hunt, Rashad
You said no
Penny.
Saquon.
I'm reading the list.
You said no Saquon.
Saquon, Kareem Hunt, Rashad Penny, Jamal Williams, Josh Jacobs, Raheem Mostert, Deonta Foreman, Mark Ingram, Boston Scott, Samaje Perine, Miles Sanders, Dearness Johnson, Jerick McKinnon. And it gets a little thinner as you go down Jeff Wilson. But there's plenty of
there's some good people there. Yeah.
Kenyon Drake, Malcolm Brown, David Montgomery, Devin Singletary, Damian Harris, Alexander Madison, finally hitting free agency, Justice Hill, Tony Pollard, who they think probably, they're talking about franchise tagging him, which is ridiculous. That's about it. But yeah, there's plenty of guys to pick from at running back in free agency.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So NFL predictions. We'll make this quick. We'll get a word from our sponsors and then bonus time, and then we out of here. Okay, because we're getting dangerously close to hashtag no 2 hours. Okay, so let's go through the games real quick. If you want to make picks, type Well, you can type. You can type a little bit slower. It's not the main games, but type in the chat box. Type fast. We're trying to go quick. Okay. What's up, Raven C? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you coming through, and make sure you are subscribed to Raven C, and also keep that same energy podcast. Two more Ravens YouTubers and podcasters that you need to be subscribed to. Appreciate y'all coming through. Okay. Also, we didn't even play, man. Sutton was in here earlier. Purple Rain Podcast. Okay. Yes. Sutton and Alex. Make sure you subscribe to their channel as well. All right. Okay. First game. What we got, B?
We got the 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Two of the better defenses in the league, two of the better offenses in the league, and then one MVP candidate, and then one Brock Purdy. So
you going to San Francisco?
Well, I think that Philly's just going to be too good for them. You know, I felt that way this past week about Dallas until Dak played like Dak and whatever. I mean, we don't need to talk about Dakota Rain anymore. But you're looking at a team in Philly that I don't think will, you know, they won't fold the way Dallas did under the pressure from San Francisco's defense. And, you know, honestly, it wasn't even pressure from San Francisco's defense. I mean, Dak threw it directly to the 49ers a couple times. I don't think they'll be able to slow down this offense. There's too many weapons. They're too well coached. And Jalen Hurts is a true two-way threat. I owe him an apology. I said he wasn't good. I was wrong. He is good. He's a good quarterback. He's a very good runner. They've got Miles Sanders. I saw a Giants fan saying that their number one priority in free agency needs to be Boston Scott because they're tired of it. They're tired of him killing the Giants. So they've got Devontae Smith. They've got AJ Brown. They've got Dallas Goedert. You know, even Quez Watkins is out there making plays. They're too good for that 49ers team. And, you know, while the 49ers have a lot of talent on offense as well, you know, with Debo and Ayuk and Kittle and McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell, they don't have a guy who can make the plays happen for them at quarterback, and the Eagles do.
Yeah, I agree. I got the Eagles, man. I got the Eagles. Yeah, I think it'll be a competitive game. Both of these games will be competitive.
I'm really excited. These look like two fantastic games, honestly.
What's your score prediction? Let's do score predictions. Jonathan Washington Jr. says 26-23 Niners. Okay. All right.
I'm going to say 35-24. But it being closer than that.
Yeah, they kind of pull away at the end.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with something similar, man. I'm going to say 31-20 Eagles. Yep. Manuel's Call of Duty says Brodny's crowning Hurts when Hurts can win games with the roster that Lamar had last year. Man. We talked. Nobody.
People just intentionally misunderstand things, man. Look, I didn't crown him. I said I was wrong and that he can play.
He can play. Listen. Just because our organization didn't do right by Lamar doesn't mean that's the standard everywhere else, right? Lamar is a special player. And we're not comparing Hurts to Lamar, but Hurts can play, right?
And he took him to the playoffs last year without AJ Brown and with a rookie Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
And without the same kind of defense.
Hey, what's up, E? What's going on, man? He's picking the 49ers. Yes. Period. Okay. Gotcha. I got you. But look, you know, they did right by Jalen Hurts, and that's you can applaud that, and that's why they're in the NFC Championship game, and we're at home wondering if we're going to pay our quarterback. Yeah. You know. All right. Next game,
you got the Cincinnati Bengals, defending AFC champions, going on the road to Kansas City, who's been in the AFC Championship, like we mentioned, 5 years straight, with Pat Mahomes. You know, on the surface, it looks like, hey, you know, Pat Mahomes is injured. They don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. Joe Burrow's already 3-0 against Kansas City, including beating them on the road in the conference championship last year. Should be Cincinnati, right? But Cincinnati hasn't looked great, up to this point. Pat Mahomes didn't look hurt at all earlier today when he was doing his press conference. He walked away. There was no limp. There wasn't any swelling or anything. He looks like he's fine. He wasn't on the injury report at all. the Bengals O-line is a little banged up, and despite losing Tyreek, the Chiefs' offense has been better than ever. So I'm going to say, in a very, very similar to Justin here, saying Chiefs 31-28. I think they win a close shootout. I think it's going to be a little bit more points than that. I'm going to say 35-31.
I'm going to say Chiefs 42-35. It's going to be similar to last year's game against the Bills. Yeah. And yeah, man, like they said Mahomes had a high ankle sprain.
They did. And he certainly looked like he did, the way dude fell on his ankle. Yeah. But they said that he's all right. He's off the injury report, and he didn't look like he was having any issue with his leg when he was walking around.
Boy, they shot him up with the good drugs. All right, Jonathan Watson Jr. says Chiefs 31, Bengals 27. Mahomes to Kelsey for his second TD of the game to win with seconds left in regulation. And to Brodny's point, Bengals O-line is in shambles. Chris Jones is going to dominate. Yeah.
He should.
Yeah. He says Mahomes was line dancing earlier, waiting for barbecue and ketchup on the steak. So we're picking the Eagles and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I think no matter what combination makes it should be a good Super Bowl to watch. So that will be fun. All right, look, we are almost done with the show. We're about to hit the bonus time, but first we want to give you a word from our sponsors. Ourselves. Yes. Okay, look, you see the apparel that we're wearing. This shirt right here is not yet on the store. It is coming soon. Okay, this is just a little trial run. We're doing some experimenting on the site, but there will be this version of the shirt on the site. So if you like what you see here, you like what B's wearing, this and a whole lot more, go to LBHTShow.com. Oh, right there, /shop. Okay, you look, check this out. Oh, look at that. Now I look like Hendo. Okay, now I look like Hendo. There it is right there. That's what that young lady is wearing down in that picture there. Also, you see that lovely couple wearing the Ring Kings apparel. Okay, that's what B has on his head right there. All right, we got for our Panthers fans. We talk a lot of Panthers. You're looking for some Panthers gear. That's the one you want right there. Right, that guy's looking really sad because we told him as soon as we snap this last picture, you gotta take that shirt off and give it back. He was like, I can't keep it. Nah, he said, oh man. Okay, that's what happened right there. Okay, you guys seen me wear this. You've seen Hendo wear this shirt on Ravens Roundtable. Okay, that's Raven City right there, East and West Baltimore with the Baltimore City skyline in the back. All right, so that and a whole lot more. So make sure you go check that out. Also, let's bring this back up. All right, we mentioned it earlier. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right, look, do you have $3 in your pocket? I know you do. Okay, save that money. And if you're planning on buying a Snickers bar, if you're planning on spending that extra $20 on delivery fees for DoorDash, you put that money right back in your pocket and go to Patreon.com/LBHT Show and check out the tiers. Okay, you can sign up for our Discord. You can check out the Overtime Show. B, give them a little bit more details on what they get for these tiers.
Yeah, so for the $3 tier, that's kind of a general support tier, but also gets you entrance into our NFL Pick'em League that we do every season. We give away a custom LBHT trophy to the winner every year. It's actually going to be a plaque this season. It looks really nice, so we can stop putting up these ridiculous pictures of Mike trying to pretend that he's an all-time great.
Listen, these are previous champions. We're going to put them up there.
Ridiculous. We also have the $10 tier that gets you into our fantasy football league. We have a dynasty league going on where we play for the custom championship belt that we have right here. Congratulations to Buck, who won the dynasty league this year against all odds. So he'll be the owner of that custom belt for this year. It also gets you the LBHT Crew coin that Jose has on his desk right there. Outstanding. We also have a redraft league that we do for fun. If there is enough interest, we will start up a second dynasty league, with prizes and all that. We also have the $20 tier, which is a combined tier for this show and our boxing podcast that we do with OTR Mike, Ring Kings podcast. We get everything that I mentioned, as well as our custom poker deck featuring our top 25 fighters of all time. Excuse me. And all of the tiers get you into the overtime show that we do every week following the live show, and everything gets you entrance into the Discord server.
Okay, so real quick, because we got an emergency here. We missed Brandon Basil's Cash App.
Oh, no, I have it up here.
Okay.
I was about to send it. I'm sorry, Brandon. I was about to say because we were doing the picks. I just held it over.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I apologize, Brandon. But
salute to you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
He says, as the GM, what players need to be called into the office? Well, it sounds like Deonta Foreman needs to be called in and given the bad news. I think that also probably on the defensive side, CJ Henderson, and Dante Jackson, we are called both of you in here and be like, listen, two of you enter, one of you leaves with a roster spot, because I don't know what y'all are doing, but it ain't the right thing. And we don't need two guys out there acting like idiots. We need one guy out there doing his job.
And if you're asking about the Ravens, B had a whole list of free agents. A whole list of free agents. There's going to be a line outside the GM's office. Okay, let's put it that way.
And you know what? I'm going to say that if they draft Anthony Richardson, and listen, honestly, they need a veteran quarterback regardless, right? If you're going with the rookie, you're going to have a veteran quarterback backing them up. I'm calling Sam Darnold into the office, and I'm saying that backup spot is yours if you want it. And you can even start the season if it's Anthony Richardson. Maybe you get a whole season as a starter, because he went out and he put in the work and he improved his game, in his time in Carolina, and you want to reward that, right? He put in all the work. He went to the defensive meetings to see the game from a different perspective. He came back from that injury and he played much better than he had been playing before. So I'm gonna go to Sam and I'm gonna say, listen, if you want it, you are going to be the mentor / veteran backup for whoever we drafted the first round. Now, he may not want that. He may want to go out there and see if he can win a starting job somewhere else, and that's fine. We wish Sam the best, but if he wants it, he's going to be the guy in Carolina.
All right, there you go. All right, B, let's fire up bonus time.
It's
not bonus time. We were doing our ads, okay? But I just want to say
the part where we were just talking was bonus time.
No, it's not bonus time. We're still doing our ads. We're answering a Cash App. Now, okay, I just want to point out there. One, Brandon, we appreciate you. It wasn't little, okay? Anything that you guys donate is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. We really mean that.
Yes.
This is a free show.
I apologize again. Just wanted to get through that one segment.
Yeah. So that's what I was getting to. No, that's what I was getting to. If you guys donate something, right? Because it's just like our super chat. That's how we do super chat. We don't open up the super chat feature on here for a reason. But if you do a super chat, usually it's up there for a little bit and then it goes away. So you guys like, hey, read my comment. If you guys hit up the Cash App or you hit up the Stream Elements, it's always going to be there. So even if we miss it, there were times we've missed it on a show and we come back on the next show and read the comment. Don't worry about it. We will get your comment on there. Okay. So that's one of the main reasons why we like to do it this way. Others is selfish reasons. We don't want to give up 30% to YouTube, and YouTube us and YouTube are beefing right now. So that's how we do our super chat here. We encourage you guys to use that. And we appreciate you guys for supporting us the way you do. Also through Patreon as well. All right.
Yes.
What are you reading? You are reading through the comments. What are you looking at?
Jay, you did not get one of the new gold and silver coins?
We got you.
I thought that I sent that out. I'm sorry, Jay. I'll send one out immediately for you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we got you. We got you, Mr. J. We got you. D Weezy says it's NBA season. I'm making people subscriptions for the whole year. Okay. All right. There you go. Holla at D Weezy.
All right, Mr. J. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'll get that sent out. If not tomorrow, then the next day.
So Justin P asks, so Matt Corral will be third string?
Matt Corral can get the hell on. All right. I don't care
where
Matt Corral is at.
He didn't even get a chance.
He had his chance. And he went out there and he let somebody like step on his foot or something and he got hurt. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Waste of a
let's keep it moving because
he'll be the third string quarterback and hopefully he gets to develop a bit. I don't think he has a future in Carolina just because they're going to be drafting a quarterback, with that 9th pick most likely. But if they bring in a good offensive coordinator, they bring in a good quarterbacks coach, hopefully he can get coached up a bit and then he can have a nice career elsewhere.
All right. Add Tupac says, I don't care no more. LeBron is the greatest player and athlete we have ever seen, and people who still say Jordan are haters. Hey, we love LeBron. Look, I don't argue with people that love Jordan. We grew up on Jordan. We love Jordan. And if you still have Jordan number 1, it's fine.
Yeah, right? You're wrong, but it's fine.
Hey, it's fine.
These are all subjective arguments, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Buck. Appreciate you, man.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
What is not subjective is that LeBron is the greatest offensive player of all time. That cannot be debated. He's the only player in the top 10 of both points and assists, and he's number 1 in points, and he's top 5 in assists.
Brian, being beefing with anybody, who's he beefing with?
No, what are you talking about, shit?
Shit just always like to start trouble, man.
He does.
He always like to start trouble. All right, look, we're going look. It's bonus time right now. We're gonna read some more comments, and then we're gonna get out of here because we are dangerously close to 2 hours, and this is #no 2 hours. All right, so get them in, and then we're gonna start up the overtime show here. Okay, what are we talking about tonight on the overtime show?
I don't know.
Let's take a look. Oh, look at that. It's Mr. Ed Reed and Sha'Carri Richardson. What is going on with those two? We talked about Ed Reed at the very beginning of the show. Shout out to Money Making Mitch, who says, how confident are you that Lamar stays in Baltimore? I'm going to answer that in 1 second. So we know what's going on with Ed Reed. Thank you. We know what's going on with Ed Reed. We're going to talk about that a little bit more detail. We're not going to talk too much about it because Open Mic with OTR Mike is going to be doing a second episode on Ed Reed discussing this. So we'll give you a little taste in the overtime show, give you our thoughts on it, and then you can get more in depth with OTR Mike, and hopefully Coach Evans comes back and Donarian comes back to continue the conversation there. But Sha'Carri Richardson was kicked off of a flight because she got into it with a flight attendant. I'm not sure if you guys saw that video, but we'll be giving our thoughts on, who was right, who was wrong there. Okay, so that should be an interesting topic. Hopefully Shug joins us there. So Money Making Mitch has a question. How confident are you that Lamar stays in Baltimore? You guys see how I brought that comment back up again? See, that's the power we can do over here. Okay, that's how our super chats roll. B. I think it's 50-50 right now. Like, I was back and forth, right? For the last few weeks, I was like, no, he's gone. Right. But before that, I was pretty sure he was going to stay. Then I was like, nah, he's out of here. Now I don't know. Right. I think they are going to try the best to, as they feel, they can try to sign him. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But I think they are making an effort to keep him here. I think they are under an enormous amount of pressure right now to get it done. So
yeah, I think that at this point it's not just the money. Right. I think that, them saying, hey, he's going to have input into who the new offensive coordinator is as part of their pitch to keep him. I think if they're really serious and they think he's going, that they can get it done, you'll see them trade for a wide receiver early in the offseason, like a DeAndre Hopkins or a Mike Evans or whoever else. I don't think he re-signs without that happening. Like, they may go ahead and franchise him, but I don't think he's going to get a long-term deal done without them making major additions to the offense, because I think he is probably just tired of it, and he's not going to roll back out there with James Prochet. Not going to do it.
Right.
So right now, I would say I am not super confident that he'll be back. I think that he's going to get franchise tagged, and I think that he'll ask for a trade.
All right. Okay. So there you have it. Let's see what we got here. Brandon Basil says Harden is the greatest abuser of loopholes. What did Harden do now? What did he do?
I don't know. I mean, maybe he's just talking about his entire career of throwing his head back and getting to the free throw line.
Tupac says, but people say James Harden. Oh, he's talking about James. Okay, this is what he's talking about. People say James Harden and KD the greatest scorers ever. They're two of the greatest scorers ever.
Yeah, those are kind. I know it doesn't. It sounds odd, but those are different things, kind of. LeBron has the longevity, and he put up more points than anybody has in NBA history, right? But you don't look at LeBron necessarily as the guy who can give you 55 on any given night. Now he can, but he doesn't have the same kind of skill set. He's not as good a shooter as Harden and Kevin Durant are, right? Like, he has to get hot,
right?
Kevin Durant and James Harden just exist in that space of being hot, and they can score from anywhere on the court anytime they want on anybody. James not so much as he used to be able to. He got out of that prime real quick and into his decline. But KD is still that guy, and LeBron is more of I'm going to score through. I mean, he is very skilled, obviously, and he worked himself into being a pretty good shooter, but he was a guy who gets to the rim at will, and he's going to do it over and over, and he's going to kind of pound you into submission, right? Whereas KD, you look at him and you think more skilled because he's shooting over defenders, he's making fadeaways, he's shooting threes, he's got the mid-range game, and he can get to the basket. He can do whatever he wants. But it just looks more skillful when KD does it than when LeBron does it.
All right, this is the last question, and we're going to answer quick because we're almost at time. Enzo Uchiha says, what do you guys think Ozzy is thinking about the whole Lamar contract situation? Ozzy is, he developed that whole right player, right price thing, but he's probably telling him right now, you better sign that boy.
I think he's probably looking at Eric DaCosta. I think every time Eric goes into the office where Ozzy is sitting, Ozzy just busts out and laughs at him. And he says, not my job, not my problem. All right? Because again, it's not EDC's fault. He has to have authorization to sign Lamar.
Yeah.
And I think Ozzy probably thinks it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. All right, that's it. We are out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate the 75 people that are still in here. Hit that like button on your way out. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
He is ready. Patrons, get ready. The Overtime Show starts in about 2 minutes. Everybody else, be safe. Have a good night. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you next time. Peace.